Ladies and gentlemen, today we have something fresh and new to share with you. Whoa. Okay. Imagine if Escape of Tarkov and the Path of Exile had a baby, then threw some sprinkles from the MOBA mechanics for the good measure, and that is VAULTBREAKERS. A new extraction-based ARPG that could make waves when it will be launched. It's a new game in test stage, high-stakes PvPvE action RPG. But could it really live up to the expectations? Stick around to find out, because I've got the full scope of everything that you need to know from the first impression on the VAULTBREAKERS. So we'll talk about everything: core gameplay, dynamic events, PvP factor, heroes, high-risk zones, and the future potential of the game. By the end of this video, you will know whether VAULTBREAKERS is the next big RPG with extraction or just another flash in the pan. And hey, if you like such type of the content, please subscribe and like the video. My community is growing super fast, thank you guys. And I'm really looking into the statistics of this new type of the genre on this channel. First impressions, my original idea. Go. The core gameplay: extraction meets ARPG. Let's start with the basics. In VAULTBREAKERS, you drop into the large map with up to something like 10 other players, and right now it's duos only. You can play solo, but still you will see a lot of duos in your lobby. Then you fight hordes of PvE enemies, collect loot, and then race to the extraction point before the 15 minutes timer hits 0. So why 15 minutes? If the timers run out, you lose everything you collected, making every second counts. And extraction points. You have two types of them, solo and group. And solo is much more easy to get out, but with the group extraction points, it's kind of you notify everybody around that for 45 seconds you'll stay here with your group waiting to be ambushed. So, sometimes it happens. And like in all extraction shooters, camping is a good stuff to do. So nothing feels worse than making out alive with a full bag of goodies only to get ambushed right before extraction. Trust me, I have been there in all of the shooters, and I can feel that it will be the thing here as well. This is essentially the Tarkov formula, risk versus reward. But on top of that, ARPG settings with some MOBA mechanics. Overall, the combat system and feeling of the game is pretty decent. We can see from the start that the quality of this build already kind of ready for launch. It's only the matter of the content in the game. You have this combat system, which is really close to MOBA games. It's pretty slow, you have only 4 skills. Every type of the hero have only 4 active skills, 1 passive skill. You have your gear, which you can collect on the map or buy from the merchant, and your gear is not adding something active for you. It's just like more HP, more speed, more damage, and so on, so on. Your gear score is growing, your stats are growing, so you became more tankier, much more damage. And the main thing of the combat system is basically min-maxing the distance to the enemy. All the enemies have these attacks on the cliff. You also have the attacks on the ground, on the cliff, or just direct, and it's much more slower than typical ARPG. So it's not Path of Exile or Diablo, but kind of with the same mindset. So you're basically starting on the map, killing all these PvE mobs to collect specific resources from specific mobs, like spiders will give you web and werewolf will give you leather, doing some typical quests, getting some progression on your character, and just come back to your lobby and then come back to the map again. That's the typical gameplay loop for VAULTBREAKERS. But it has some tweaks and interesting things which will make it more spicier and keep you come back to the game. To be honest though, I think this combat system and this building system is too simple for the extraction shooter, because like Tarkov or other games, you have 3D dimensions, right? It's not isometric. You can play with different heights, you can sneak around, you can make traps, you have so many different gear and stuff. Here it's too simple. It looks like it will be out, people will like it, and like in 3 weeks everybody will be bored. But let's talk about content a little bit later. So dynamic events and map mechanics. Now let's talk about what really sets VAULTBREAKERS apart from the standard PvE grind, which are point of interest on the map and additional pieces of the map, which could be opened by the players with better PvE loot and more possible risk of PvP. You have so-called circles on the map. These circles pop up when the player triggers a special event in a special place. You can decide to go in spells blazing, or you can wait for somebody else to do that and then ambush them during the PvE fight. These circles will spawn a lot of mobs and some bosses, and then in the end you can have a chest with some good loot. And in the end of the day, it's extraction, so whoever have a loot, that wins, right? It's dirty, but hey, it works. Then you have this big storm, which is going randomly on the map. You need to avoid these lightning strikes and go in the middle. And this is basically the MOBA-inspired feature because you can buy from the NPC in the middle of the storm some stuff during the game. And then you have a few more points of interest, like teleport. Wherever teleport is used on the map, you can see it and you can see which one is used. So you know, okay, somebody is there, I can go there. You also have these special scatters or something which will make you much more faster, but people will see that you are there, right? And everything that you use on the map will be telegraphed to the players that they will know, okay, somebody is doing something there. You also have this grass like in League of Legends where you can stay and you will be basically invisible, so it's for ambushes. You don't have to kill other players, but most likely, you know, this game pushes you to kill others, or you just can flee from them, right? Because this game is a good example of good sounds. It is extraction game, so that's why sound is really good here. You can hear the steps, everything, when they open the chest, when they fight, like far. So when you will be much more silent, like if I'm going alone, I can hear how many of the players and where and what they are doing. So I can maybe ambush them afterwards when they don't have a full HP or something. And yes, you can ambush 1 versus 2. It's playable because if you are lone wolf, you exactly have this passive ability which add you additional percentage of damage, healing, power, HP and so on. It's not much, like 10 or something, but still it's doable with different classes. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. The map is teaming with strategic choices, when to engage, when to avoid a fight, and where to gather specific resources. Like I already said, specific mobs give you specific resources, and these resources you need then to upgrade your main artifact, which is something that gives you some passives before each game. Like if you upgrade your artifact, each new game will give you additional health potions, which is good, right? Now let's talk about the PvP factor a little bit in depth. You have a duels mod right now. You can only queue as a pair or solo if you are brave. The Lone Wolf perk gives solo players a slight stat boost, but it's still a tough road. It's not enough to overcome 2 knowledgeable players. If they're new ones and you already know your character, you can fastly kill one and then just back and forth with the other one and kill him as well. But if they know what they're doing, most likely you will come and they will just drop you. And also the synergy between classes is really good, because classes here we have only 5 right now, and I will talk about them a little bit later, but you basically have tanks and damage dealers and summoner and so on, so you can combine it well. Now sound and visibility. One more time, one of the coolest features is how easily it can be detected and how easily you can hear everybody else. With all this telegraphy from the point of interest, you can basically strategically think what you will do on the map, where to go, and you know what is happening in this direction. So it's really smart to be aware of all of this around. And death. What actually will happen if I will die, right? If you die, you lose everything you brought with you, so all of your gear and everything you picked up. You will still have some part of your resources, like stone, wood, leather or something, when you will die, but other stuff will be lost. So it's ultimate high-stake environment, and it feels amazing when you successfully ambush another team or walk away with their gear or just extract with a full bag of good loot after some events. And from the other side, it's really devastating when you're on the receiving end of that ambush. But hey, that's what keeps you coming back for these games, right? For the extraction shooters, or in this case, extraction ARPG. And my personal note, my first PvP encounter was a complete adrenaline rush. My partner, which was like just a random player, you can, do the quick matchmaking with somebody else. So we heard the footsteps in the distance, hid behind some trees and waited. Sure enough, 2 unsuspecting players came running by with the full backpacks. We just jump in on them, and after some skirmish for 30 seconds, smashing your face on the buttons because nobody knows what is happening, we just walk away with more loot than we have collected for the entire run. And that kind of moments that makes VAULTBREAKERS shine. You talk with these new people, it's something in between, like you have PUBG duos with randoms, but it's action RPG, and you have extraction party. Total mess with all the genres, but it kind of works. So let's talk about heroes, abilities, and build dilemma. There are currently 5 heroes archetypes, basically 5 heroes, and which with kind of unique playstyle. As I told you, it's totally MOBA style characters. You have tank, a lot of health and defense, can absorb damage and explode in AoE. You have melee brawler, like high burst, getting close, smash faces, and you also have this life stealing ability and so on, basically the barbarian or berserker. Mage, small tiny thing, super mobile, can jump for a long distance. You have this on the territory spells, so it feels like the glass cannon. Ranger, basically the ranger, you just shoot straight with a big damage, utilizing teleporting instead of the movement skills, and great for kiting, right? And the last one, druid or summoner, or whatever you call this thing, I love it. So you have poisonous attack. These attacks also spawn small sprouts which will attack from the ground your enemy. You summon some roots which will slow the enemy, and it's basically a lot of crowd control and these small attacks, and when you will kite enemies for a long time, they will die. I like this gameplay. It's annoying for the enemy, but that's really cool. Each hero has 4 fixed abilities and pool of 12 passive perks. And you can use in the same time. When you will be top level of this character, you just need to play a lot of time to level up it. So you will have 12 passive perks, and you can equip only 4 of them. And for now, they doesn't look like big things. They add additional shield or additional cooldown reduction or something like that, but they don't change completely your gameplay, game style. So basically what you have, it's gear, which gives you HP, speed, and damage. You have these 4 perks and 4 active skills. That's all. And all of the characters will be the same all time. You can't build your character differently. You will just be the same druid like other high-level player. And that's a bad thing. It looks like it will be really boring at some point of time, because in MOBA you have this 4 active skills and you have a lot of artifacts which also add active abilities to you. And also it's not 2 versus 2 or even 1 versus 2. In MOBA it's like 5 versus 5 with ultimates and all this stuff. So it's like really a big strategic thing happening. Here it will not for this time. So they need to think about another layer of the building system, of skill system, or something to to progress with your character. So let's see about that. As I said, we don't have any skill trees. Your abilities are set in stone, right? All gear mostly stat based. You're not finding epic weapons that drastically change your abilities. For now, maybe I'm wrong, but for now it's like that. For an action RPG, this simplicity might be limit for the long-term replayability. But if the devs will expand, something like skill tree, introduce branching path, allow gear to change how abilities function, the game could achieve some serious long-term life. Let's talk about the endgame. Right now we have few maps on the world map. We can use in this beta or whatever test it is only 2 of them, the beginning zone and then the next one after some time you open it. It's kind of the same type of the zone, different biome, more high level mobs, more high level rewards and loot. But the end game is high risk zones, a special locked areas that require a rare rune to open it. Once someone opens one, everyone gets an alert and the entire map usually goes straight on this spot. Because what is these high-risk zones? First, you'll find the best loot inside, which can give you a massive advantage for the future runs. And also, the value of this loot will be big. You will have some more higher-level mobs, some bosses, some chests. And it's like a lot of loot for 2 of the players. And you actually can clean up it pretty fast. So all the players should do it like really fast and direct to try to ambush you. And if you think that extraction points, someplace where you will be contested or ambushed, wait until you see how many teams show up when the high-risk zone is opened. It's basically a loot piñata, but the piñata fights back and the other team do too. That's the fun, that's the end game, I think. So my first time in the high-risk zone was total disaster. We saw that somebody opened that, we go in, we try to ambush them, they fight back and then we run. My teammate died because he doesn't want to play as a team. Then I just waited for some time and like a total hyena just come back and loot everything. The other team left. That was fun. I get my loot, I extracted, and it was, a legendary for me. The next time we just opened that with good teammate and cleaned it super fast and nobody came to us. No, in the end somebody came to us. We did kill them and extract. So that was fun. Like the experience overall and the quality of the game is pretty fun. Okay, now let's talk about final thoughts, the future of the Vault Breakers. Is the Vault Breakers worth playing right now? If they will launch like open beta or something, because now they are closed as I understand. Anyway, The good things are the following. So you have a polished combat and movement for an early access title. As I said, the game is basically ready. The quality and everything, no bugs. Everything feels really smooth. The visuals are really good. Like, everything is good. It's just the question of the content, right? So it's fun. It's really intense PvP and PvE actually. So I died a few times from the mobs as well. Like, as I said, you need to min-max all these distances between your skills and skills from the enemies in PvE as well. So you can die really easily. And these dynamic like points of interest events and the high risk zones feeling fresh and less predictable. That's good. The bad things are, as I said, the limited build variety might hamper long-term replayability. Currently only one mode, which is duos, so if you like bigger squads, a purely solo experience, you might be out of the luck. Though devs hinted that they will have additional modes, which is logical, and we just need to wait for that. And progression could use more depth, like skill trees, gear upgrades, or something like that. Now it's too simple. That said, the developers seem actively engaged with the community, which is good. If they lean into deeper progression or for more heroes, because in mobile, one more time, like in Dota 2, you have 260 something characters, right? And here you have only 5 with more simple building system. So it's not enough for the ARPG extraction game to make it fun to play in the long term. But it's fun. It's already fun. Question is, will you come back next week or not? Now I will ask you, what's your take on such games like VAULTBREAKERS? Did you play it? Did you try it? Comment below. Does the high-stakes RPG with MOBA-inspired mechanics sounds like a dream come true? Or something to mess with all of the genres? What do you think? I personally think that's cool. I really love extraction mechanics. Like Dark and Darker was something that I was waiting for a long time. It's really cool game, but too stiff, too slow. I want something more fast, like MOBA game and this setup. It's kind of closer to that. I don't like isometric for the extraction. It's like limit your abilities and your sneakiness, let's put it like that. But still, the developers did a great job. Not enough content. It's still a test. Maybe no new maps will be better. Let's see. And thank you for watching this video. Just comment below what you think about this format of the video. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video. It was PLK. I will see you next one. Bye.